Well, it's been 2 weeks since the garden's open, and if I'm honest, I haven't gardened much in those 2 weeks. A little bit of routine maintenance. My husband's managed to mow twice and do the strimming. I've done the weeds that have popped their heads through the borders, things like brambles and nettles. On the whole, I've been enjoying it a lot more because all the hard work's been done. We've had that crazy heat wave. Down here on the south coast, it has been absolutely sweltering this week. Record highs. As a gardener, the last thing you want to do is to be constantly watering. I'm really quite cautious with my watering. I don't want thirsty plants that are reliant on hose pipes, and I have my soaker hoses. Those work quite effectively. This rose is a Harkness rose. It's the only one I have in the garden, and it's Queen Elizabeth II. I absolutely love the colour. The David Austins are having their second flush. And the rose garden's going to come alive again. I love repeat flowering roses. I've cleared away quite a few weeds out of this border, and it's still not doing that well. And I think I have to now plant this as if it is in heavy shade, because it is most of the time, and literally get heavy shade plants here. So I'm going to rethink this back square here. Keep the roses in here, but yeah, think about shade loving plant. A little metal water bath is looking pretty, and the water hyacinths have had 5 babies. Water's gone very green and murky. I need to clean that up. So the National Garden Open scheme went very, very well. Beautiful weather all weekend. Going to shout out to some of my helpers. So my mum, Sue, and Ian Bottomley manned the gates 2 days on the trot in really, really hot sun. My good friend Jo Keller-Brown, who got married the weekend after, but she gave up half a day to help us open the garden. Archie and his good friend Kantusha, she was amazing. She baked probably half of the cakes we sold, and between them they made over 500 cups of teas, coffees and slices of cake. 172 people came, and we raised well over £1,200 for the Macmillan and all the charities that National Garden Scheme open. A further £72 went to Abby's Heroes, a Hillier charity, and that was from my private plant sales. So these are the plants that I'd planted on as seedlings and cuttings, and yeah, raised £72. And I did that to support Abby's Heroes because Hillier donated a vast amount of plants for the Garden Open sale. I'm loving the candy floss heads on these roses here. I don't know the name of this one, but isn't it just a beautiful bed? The new bed, this was built end of October, beginning of November 2025, is really high maintenance. The soil structure is very, very poor. I've added some big heavy bark chip-ins onto it to retain some moisture, and I will put loads and loads of horse manure and farmyard manure into this bed just to improve the growing. Patio has fared really well, so that's Algon stuff is amazing. Thoroughly recommend that. But I just wanted to bring you the joy of my hydrangea patch. This has been about 4 years growing, so everything you see here were very tiny plants, and we are now in their second lot of leaping years, and I'm just loving them. I love hydrangeas. They just bring so much colour to the very dark areas under these massive oak trees. We've still got a few to come out this far end. Paniculata is yet to flower yet. But these are the massive oak trees to the side of my garden, casting that dark shade. Always thought the rose garden was my favourite part of the garden, but it's actually this deep shady area, the bank that leads onto the cow field beside our property. And I purposefully did this as a moonlit garden. So there's variegated plants in here, white plants in here. Excuse the hot pink there of the geranium that's snuck in. But yeah, everything here is a shade loving plant, but with a white variegated theme. Loving this mophead hydrangea in the white. So currently my favourite part of the garden. The roundabout has been in full sun most of the day, so please forgive the droopiness of these Jutzias. I mean, this is terrible, but they do perk up as soon as the shade comes along. But yeah, the roundabout is looking really lush. I don't know if you can hear the birds. It's a crescendo of tweeting at the moment. This rose snuggled against the cornice. Lovely combo. The front garden is being taken over by daisies and lavaterias. Love the smell of a salvia when you brush against it. Just needs a little bit more colour in here. The cosmos will poke its head through. This needs a really good weed because we've got lots of brambles there and there. But the Jacob's ladder is starting to come up again, so we get some second flowering from that. More beautiful roses. And a lot of deadheading to do. Another part of the garden that's proving to be on its way to be successful is under the massive cedar tree in the front garden. The ferns have really done well this year, but we have watered this on almost a nightly basis throughout the absolutely furnace-like weather, just to keep these ferns going. I mean, we know that ferns like damp shade. There is no way this is damp shade under this tree, so I'm going to add some thick, give it a good water, add some thick bark mulch, and then hopefully it will be a little bit more self-proficient, but it's very dramatic on a hot day. Ready to go into the ground. I've got these 3 contorted salixes. Really happy with these. They're going to sit a bit more forward. Let me just move them. Probably something like that, with another cornice at the front. This will be decamped from its pot that it shouldn't have been in. Well, it's been there for years in that pot, but it needs to come out. So we're building a little bit of a border here with a similar edging to this one that is going beside Lincoln's Arch. Yeah, this border again, these plants were buried deep, and the birds are just flicking all of the soil out, trying to find worms. But yeah, this is work in progress still, but I'm liking this border. Our boat Kraken had her service here a couple of days ago, and we're going to nip in her across to the Isle of Wight this evening. Yeah, it's holding on. The garden's holding on. It's you know, we know that it's boiling hot. We know that global warming, and I am trying to deal with that by heavy mulching, building lots of manure to retain moisture, but I don't think any of us expected the heat that we've had on the south coast this week. It's our little cottage. The wall and the pots and the hanging baskets are all looking stunning still. But again, it's high maintenance, isn't it? It's a lot of watering. And I do need to find a solution for this wall that isn't every year buying an annual. I've got to think of what can I put in there. So this side is hardy fuchsias. This side is annual fuchsias, which have done nothing. Let me show you. They have basically gone meh and given up, and Yeah, they're not enjoying the beautiful weather at all. The cannas are, but I'm going to have to move them because I think the wind's going to knock them about. Side hardy fuchsias are all doing really well, so I'm going to have a think about what I put here, and I think hardy fuchsias will be the way to go. This morning the Calicarpius was in full flower and it looked absolutely stunning, and I was coming over to show you, and look, so that's where the bright purple berries will grow. Under Archie's window we have a climbing blueberry, and this is a blueberry that you have to cook. You can make really nice jams and things, and cordials from it. And then we've got this gorgeous hollyhocks. Another pollen rich hollyhocks, absolutely stunning. Pot is now in the corner to add a little bit of interest, and we put that there for the garden open, and we absolutely love it here. And here we have all of the gorgeous ferns doing really well. But again, we're going to build a bit more of a retaining wall. We started it here, and I'm building the layers in there of really water retaining humus, you know, sort of garden manure, horse manure, cow manure. Not saying this is a failure yet because it is only its first year, but I've been very disappointed by the lavender border and the Russian sage border. So everyone else's Russian sage is huge with spires of blue firing off of it, and I've got... Now this is really, really poor soil that gets blasted by the sun, and really the lavenders should be doing far better than this. But it is only the first proper year, so we'll give them a go. I had to do something with this border because it's always a disappointment. Another beautiful hollyhocks. And there's Dexter. He is absolutely loving his life in the country. He's a funny little character. I'm gonna get ya. So Dexter's got something he wants to say, and that is please click like, subscribe and comment below. Hit that hype button. The algorithm apparently picks up the hypes, but also those of you that are concerned, subscription costs you absolutely nothing, but it means a lot to small content creators. So go out there, and everybody that you watch and everybody's videos and blogs that you enjoy, just make sure you click that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to people. So yeah, if I could ask you to do one thing this evening, hit subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Anyway, that was from Dexter. This is from me. Wear sunscreen. Thank you. Good night. Let me give to you. Let me drown your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me lay down beside you.